I'm standing about half a block away from Club Q, where there was a late Saturday night shooting that ended with 5 dead. This is where the SUV ended up after getting stuck on that fence and hitting this brick pillar right here. But there is still plenty of more damage down the line. I'm here with Joshua Thurman. He was here last night. He was on the dance floor here at Club Q when shots rang out. Community members erected this small memorial in honor of the 2-year-old in the exact same spot where he lost his life. They've asked for refunds and you've refused to provide those. A lot of people over decades came out, spoke about how you either sexually assaulted, harassed, or abused young children. And $250,000 on vaccine support. He feels the golf courses should take a back seat. Some of the most conservative models showed it would take law enforcement 4 hours and 20 minutes to evacuate everyone. North, south, east, west, Belmont, Bessemer, Mesa Junction, even downtown Pueblo. Gang activity can touch every inch of this city. They still have questions like, why did 14-month-old Aiden Seeley have to die in the first place? Bart, graduation day may be about the journey, but as soon as that flyover happens, it's all pandemonium. The owner of these 4 shops, including this one, is currently in jail in Pueblo. Even though charges were dropped in this case, both prosecutors and the Teller County Sheriff's Office tell 13 Investigates they're still investigating former Woodland Park Jehovah's Witnesses elder Sean Swisher. We asked Swisher about that investigation earlier this afternoon inside the Teller County Courthouse following a court hearing. Prosecutors say they're still investigating this case. Do you anticipate that additional charges will be filed in this case? Sean Swisher was silent to 13 Investigates as he walked out of a Teller County courtroom on Monday. Swisher was booked in the Teller County Jail for 20 days on $250,000 bond after being arrested on 8 counts of sexual assault against a child. Over decades, more than a dozen people spoke to law enforcement about Swisher's behavior when he was an elder inside the Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall in Woodland Park. The Teller County Sheriff's Office executed search warrants at Swisher's home and the Kingdom Hall in Woodland Park. But charges were dropped by the district attorney's office due to a lack of evidence. Any message you want to get out to the people of Teller County? A lot of people over decades came out, spoke about how you either sexually assaulted, harassed, or abused young children. Any messages that you want to send out to those people? At Monday's court hearing, both the prosecution and defense argued over Swisher's seized property, which includes thousands of dollars worth of laptops, cell phones, and cameras. The defense argues, now that charges were dropped, the property should be returned. But the state contends the investigation into Swisher remains ongoing, and they need more time to download the content. Prosecutors believe child porn and video of the alleged offenses are on those digital devices. The state now has until late April to either file new charges or give Swisher his property back. Reporting live in Cripple Creek, Dan Beedie, 13 Investigates. Heather, Bart, it was a hostile board meeting to say the least. Tonight's vote follows a controversial Facebook post, one where School District 49 board member Ivy Liu quoted Adolf Hitler in a post about children's education on her personal page. But her fellow board members tell 13 Investigates that post is just the tip of the iceberg.
You are toxic to this district, and I'm ashamed that I supported you.
That's what District 49 School Board President John Graham had to say to his fellow board member Ivy Liu moments before board members approved a motion censoring Liu and calling for her immediate resignation. The motion makes several accusations against Liu, including attacks on teachers, blackballing prospective employees, and violating Colorado state law. The motion also mentions this Ivy Liu Facebook post quoting Adolf Hitler. Liu tells 13 Investigates the post was about her concerns with learning curriculums, indoctrinating students with far-left ideologies. At Thursday's meeting, Liu denounced the accusations made against her.
I don't know what else I can do. I call you to resign.
It's not true. She has been dedicated to the integrity of these schools and every teacher in there.
Dozens of vocal supporters came out to Thursday's meeting to stand by Lou and her efforts to keep far-left ideologies out of the classroom.
It has taken a very strong foothold in the education system. That's where they start out with young children. Those are the easiest targets to indoctrinate because they are vulnerable.
Our teachers are not indoctrinating. Our teachers are fantastic.
Lou says her comments were not meant as an attack on D49 teachers, but some parents at Thursday's meeting feel otherwise.
Who is in our schools delivering that content? It's our teachers, it's our faculty. She is making a hostile work environment for them, and she has to go.
Lou tells 13 Investigates she will not resign, but the motion that was approved tonight permits the board the opportunity, or allows the board to retain a law firm, one that can conduct an investigation into Ivy Lou's conduct to see whether or not it warrants criminal or civil action. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, Dan Beedie, 13 Investigates. 13 Investigates received this video from a civil rights attorney representing a protester suing the city of Colorado Springs, as well as 4 Colorado Springs police officers for using excessive force. While the Colorado Springs Police Department acknowledges this is their body camera video, they will not confirm that the individual singing in that video is one of their own officers. June 2nd, 2020. Dozens of protesters organized outside the Colorado Springs Police Department, motivated following the death of George Floyd while in Minneapolis police custody.
And in the name of the people of the state of Colorado, I command you to immediately disperse.
Springs police sprayed protesters with tear gas. But 4 hours before this chaos ensued,
You got blood all over your face. Big disgrace. Kicking your all over the place.
an individual is heard on Colorado Springs police body-worn camera singing along to the recognizable 1977 Queen song, "We Will Rock You," but the lyrics are altered.
We will gas you.
There was a culture coming from the top on down that said, stomp out these protests.
Adam Frank is the attorney for this woman here, with her hands raised in front of a line of Springs police. Her name is Tara Haddam. She filed an excessive force lawsuit earlier this year, alleging in part Colorado Springs leadership was adverse to the George Floyd protests, adverse to Black Lives Matter, and wanted to see these protests stamped out, even by unconstitutional means.
Without that culture, an officer doesn't feel comfortable singing that. The other officers around him don't feel comfortable laughing at that. That's not something that happens unless the departmental culture and the dictates coming from the top on down say, these protests are a problem.
In a statement to 13 Investigates, Colorado Springs police say, quote, "There was a multi-jurisdictional law enforcement presence when this video was recorded, and it is unknown exactly who made the comments. We recognize the perception this video shows, but note, it does not accurately show the thought process and considerations made by CSPD staff before the dispersal of gas was authorized during the riots of 2020. Police tell us no more additional actions will be taken in regards to this video. Since the protests, Colorado Springs police have made it mandatory for their officers to give warnings prior to using tear gas as well as pepper spray. Reporting live in downtown Colorado Springs, Dan Beedie, 13 Investigates.
What's going on, man?
January 11th, 2018, El Paso County deputies responded to a truck lot for a trespassing report.
Are you Jerica? Jerica LaCour?
Jerica LaCour from Colorado Springs was a mother of 5 children. According to medical reports obtained by 13 Investigates, Jerica was curled up in the fetal position, crying hysterically when deputies arrived. In an effort to calm her down, a paramedic injected Jerica with ketamine.
Yeah.
Guess who gets ketamine?
Yeah, seriously.
Minutes after the paramedic said that, Jerica LaCour would be dead. Her autopsy says she died of respiratory arrest from alcohol and ketamine intoxication.
Every day, all day, we think about her.
More than 5 years since her death, Jerica's husband, Anthony LaCour, still won't watch the police body-worn camera video capturing the moments before his wife's death.
I can't bring myself to watch that. It's already bad enough with her not being here.
I just want my kid.
13 Investigates obtained an incident report written by a Cimarron Hills firefighter who says she urged the paramedic Jason Paulson not to administer ketamine. She said LaCour was already tied down and calming down.
He did it anyway, and that caused the death of Jerica LaCour. And now her children, her 5 children, do not have a mother.
Dan Kay is an attorney representing Jerica's children. The LaCour family filed a lawsuit claiming negligence leading to wrongful death by the American Medical Response, or AMR, and the paramedic on scene, Jason Paulson. According to the firefighters' report, the paramedic justified the use of ketamine because LaCour was displaying symptoms of excited delirium. Descriptors for excited delirium syndrome include hyperaggression, increased strength, and police noncompliance, according to the Colorado Department of Health and Environment. State health officials say ketamine is a medication causing altered sensory perception, meant to calm patients down.
She was upset, she was crying, she wasn't violent, she wasn't fighting, she wasn't spitting.
It isn't seen on camera, but according to the incident report from the Cimarron Hills firefighter, LaCour started swinging at EMS providers before being tied down to the cot. In 2021, the state opened an investigation into the incident and Paulson's conduct. They found that the paramedic improperly administered the ketamine. Medication was accidentally ejected from the syringe, causing an unknown dosage to be administered. They also found that Paulson initially failed to note on the patient care report that he administered ketamine at all. As a result of the state investigation, Paulson's paramedic certification is currently on probation until December of 2023. But the state tells 13 Investigates they made no findings regarding whether the use of ketamine was justified or not. This is not an isolated incident. In 2019, Elijah McClain, a 23-year-old black man, was killed after paramedics and police allegedly held him down and injected him with ketamine. That incident sparked the Colorado State Legislature to pass 2 key pieces of legislation to address ketamine and EMS oversight in the state. The first passed in 2021, limiting the circumstances when ketamine can be used, and eliminating excited delirium as a justification for use of the medication by EMS. According to numbers from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, in 2019, when McClain died, ketamine was administered by EMS 457 times for excited delirium. Nearly a quarter of those ketamine doses had reported complications. 2 years later, administrations dropped to less than 100, in large part from health officials suspending the use of excited delirium as justification for ketamine use that year. But even after the suspension, ketamine is still being used outside of hospitals. According to their 2022 annual report to the legislature, state health officials said ketamine was administered by EMS at least 1,500 times in Colorado from July 2021 to June 2022. 2% of those had complications.
Is she by herself?
But for the LaCours, these changes to state policy came too little, too late.
And it's hard for me to deal with my children because I don't want them to see me crash. I gotta stay strong for them. She was my strength, my courage. She gave me ability to become the man that I am today.
AMR declined to speak with 13 Investigates due to the pending litigation. We also reached out to the lawyer representing the paramedic, but have not heard back yet. If the lawsuit is successful, the family lawyer tells us any financial relief would go to the 5 children of Jerica LaCour. Dan Beedie, 13 Investigates.
Well, 13 Investigates discovered that multiple city-licensed businesses may have ties to an illegal sex industry in Colorado Springs.
Police here believe around 30 massage businesses are a front for human trafficking and prostitution. A warning that the story includes sexually explicit information. In a 13 Investigates special report, Dan Beedie is live outside one of those spas to explain what he's uncovered in our ongoing investigation, Illicit Spas Hiding in Plain Sight. Dan?
Heather, Bart, these licensed businesses are in our own backyards. This one directly behind me is called Lucky Massage, located in this shopping center on South 8th Street, just a few feet away from the KRDO studios. The license.
Yeah.
Can I see it?
Uh-huh.
A new Colorado Springs law requires certain massage businesses to be licensed. The city regulation is part of an effort to weed out illicit spas suspected of human trafficking. It outlaws people living inside massage businesses, requires them to close by 11 p.m., and prohibits the spas advertising sex online. 46 massage businesses currently hold city licenses, but 13 Investigates found 8 of the licensed spas received recent reviews about illegal sexual services offered on the website RubMaps. RubMaps' website says it is a forum for erotic massage parlor reviews and happy endings. Colorado Springs police previously told 13 Investigates they use RubMaps to identify illicit spas and gather evidence.
I've seen a couple reviews online about this business. Ma'am?
The city issued Victory Spa a license in September. 13 Investigates found 8 sexual reviews posted online about the spa since then. Like this one from December, where a supposed customer wrote, quote, "Sex was pretty good." 13 Investigates rang the doorbell trying to get answers about what was going on inside Victory Spa. Moments later, our cameras captured a young woman being escorted out the back, wearing a robe and holding her clothes.
Are you guys selling sex for money?
No, we don't.
Asian Massage on the 2400 block of Boulder Street is also licensed, and recent online reviews suggest sex is still for sale there.
Sex for money?
No.
No?
No.
When 13 Investigates walked into the business, we were greeted by this woman identifying herself as Lee. Using a translator on her phone, she says it was her first day on the job.
My boss told me only massage.
Hello. We also visited Energy Day Spa in a shopping mall off of Carefree Circle. The city granted Energy Day Spa a self-employment exemption, which means the spa isn't required to apply for the massage business license. But sexual reviews like this keep popping up online. On November 29th, the RubMap user review of Energy Day Spa goes into exhaustive detail about the massage and sexual acts that came after. Writing, quote, "I was given access to every corner of her body." We showed the woman we met inside.
Gave money for sex.
Oh, low.
That's what it says.
Through a phone translator, she told us not to trust the online reviews.
Some guests are boring?
Yeah.
Colorado Springs Councilman Dave Donaldson tells 13 Investigates he's concerned about how the new city licensing law is working.
And by now, every one of them would have either been shut down or would be in the process, the court system.
We showed Donaldson a lewd advertisement posted on an escort website, Skip the Games, in December. It includes a phone number for a spa in Colorado Springs. The ad showing naked women listing dozens of sex acts, which is a direct violation of the licensing law.
I don't think they respect it. I think they see it as the paper tiger or something with no teeth, and you can't blame them.
Colorado Springs is one of 3 cities in the state that has a law like this on the books. Tonight at 6, we explain how Colorado Springs police are going about enforcing this law, and we hear from a local human trafficking expert and how he fears that this law doesn't do enough to protect the potential victims that are working in these so-called spas. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, Dan Beedie, 13 Investigates.
All right, Dan, good work.